I got to give me some of that.
Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line. Woodward Sports Network. Brian Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Stan Edwards in the house as well. Guys, Michigan, Ohio State. What needs to be said? We have been wanting this game to mean this for so long, and now it does. Braylon, before I come to you, on Stan, just your big picture take on how we got here. Stan, are you surprised that we are here?
A little bit, because it's only happened in 1 year. But I think how we got here is it appears, and I don't know for a fact, but I hear whispers that Coach Harbaugh has kind of changed a few things in the culture around the building and within himself. You know, he's kind of viewing assistant coaches a little bit differently than he's hired in the past. It looks like I don't think he was so hard on the players that they were too rigid, because I saw a lot of things, him doing the rap video, 4 or 5 years ago. But I think it's a little bit looser. But you got to be careful about being too loose with kids who aren't ready to play and perform. Mm-hmm. These guys are coming to play and perform, and he's allowing them a little bit more latitude in how they show their exuberance throughout the game. So I think one of the ways they got here is, one, they're coaching a lot better. Mm-hmm. He's got some players that have really bought into the program, and they're physical. I think Mike Hart, I think moving Shamar Moore to offensive line coach. I think
Coach Klink, defensive back coach.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about him in just a second. And Coach McDonald, the defensive coordinator. Woo! Got caught a couple of times, with substitutions. Got to realize they don't go in the huddle in college like they do in the pros. He seems to have that figured out. But I think this team, they have to be very, very particular about what they do. They have to take shots. Don't want to get into a track meet, but you got to make them run and chase you also. They have to play on defense old-style Bo Schembechler football, because this wide receiver core for Ohio State reminds me of the running back core I had at Michigan when we won the national rushing title. Butch Woolfolk had 1,200 yards. I had 900 yards. Butch's backup, Larry Rooks, had 800 yards. They got 3 receivers that might be going over 1,000 yards. That's crazy. So make them catch the ball in front of you, and you got to make the tackle. Are they going to be patient enough, they being Ohio State, to throw 5 10-yard passes, 5 10-yard passes, because the defensive backs are off? But the trick is, do I play 7 off? Do I play 5 off? Do I play 10 off? When I come up to make the play, do I get there in time enough to try to hit him as soon as he catch it? Or do I need to break down so he has to turn and face me, and then he have to move? Because a lot of times, if you're caught and you've already made the commitment, he catches it and he shakes, he spins, and he might be gone for a while. So they got to be careful about how they do that. They got to keep everything in front of them.
And Braylon, that kind of leads into you. How do they go ahead and win this football game? I believe they have a chance to win the football game. I think you guys do. How do they actually do it?
I wanted to touch on something that you asked my father, and my father just kind of like laid out the plan. The first thing you said was, are you surprised that they're here, and how did they get here? I think everybody is surprised. Like, now, the level of your surprise is the answer. Because you said they were going to go 11-1 and beat Ohio State. You said that. I didn't. But to get to where they are, you talk about the coaching, you talk about McDonald, you talk about what they've done on defense, you talk about Aiden, you talk about the rise of David Ojabo, you talk about Daxton Hill, you talk about Cade McNamara not turning the ball over, you talk about the rushing attack, you talk about the line, taking care of Cade McNamara, taking care of Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins, and also Donovan Edwards. That's what they've done well. That's how they've got here. Other side, this is more on the negative side. They got it also because you look at the schedule, and this is what we're going to talk about when we get to the college football playoffs and how they may potentially get jumped. You look at that schedule, it's like they call it Penn State with, situation, or they weren't playing their best football. Sean Clifford was struggling. You look at Indiana, they outplayed them. Northwestern is not good this year. Maryland's not good this year. So a mixture of changing the culture with Harbaugh and the young coaches, 6 of 10 coaches, all young, under the age of 42, and then also the schedule. Now, how do they win this game? What my dad said, just extending on that. One, you got to play man-to-man at the line of scrimmage. You got to press these wide receivers. Because what's happening is, because these wide receivers are so good, most teams play off. Most teams play off, and they're like, we'll play off. We'll try to see what these wide receivers are done. We'll give ourselves some leeway. We'll give ourselves some space. If you don't have defensive linemen that can get to the quarterback, playing off doesn't matter, because he's still able to take his time, relax and chill, and let the routes develop. Let the wide receivers get open. You got to check him at the line of scrimmage. Daxton Hill has to put his hands on Jackson and Jigba. Turner has to put his hands on Chris Olave. They got to get their hands on him at the line of scrimmage because that will help David Ojabo as well as Aiden Hutchinson get to the quarterback, have some time. Also, were you about to say that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Also, what they're doing now, they're peaking at the right time in terms of adding talent, like exposing talent that they have, showing talent. You saw last week, Donovan Edwards. That's another thing.
I was actually shocked at how much he looked like he belonged, Braylon,
really
as a
did.
freshman.
That's a secret weapon, man.
He didn't even just look like he belonged. He looked like he was ready for the show.
I'll one-up you on that. He looked
The
like he was the
back.
best player on the football
On the
field,
team.
actually.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
You know, I mean,
Is he a
never
running
seen
back
that.
or is he a wide receiver?
Yeah, I've
He's
never
both.
seen a running back look that comfortable
You got
as a
it.
freshman
Yeah.
in the passing game.
You got it.
So,
Never.
No, not at all. 100%. So use the things that you've shown later in the year, the things you're exposing now. Schoonmaker, tight end success. That's how Michigan traditionally has
love
always
his
been
name.
good. Tight end success. Michigan's always been good with that. You can go all the way back to Jeremy Tillman and Keith Bossing. The list goes
hell,
on.
look at Benny Joppru.
Benny Joppru,
You
the
know?
guy I played with. You look, Jake Butt.
Yep.
But anyway, Schoonmaker and all. That's another one. Also, you have Donovan Edwards. And you have Sanistril. Sapase to Mazo. He's Haitian. Sanistril, you see the one-hand catch that he made. You look at Brown. You look at the things that they're doing. Roman Wilson is back. K. McNamara is taking care of the ball. So they're exposing players at the right time. Also, keep the Bucks off the field. Keep the Bucks off the field. You had at one point before Corum got hurt, you had the number one rushing attack in the country. You got Corum back, and you have Donovan Edwards now. Keep the Bucks off the field because you actually have a chance to do so. Mm-hmm. You have a chance to do so.
Now, when they are on the field, here's where the chess match comes in. David Ojabo doesn't play a lot on running downs.
Nope.
He doesn't get a lot of snaps. He's going to have to be in there and running down because this team passes on first down a lot. So what you don't want to is have Stroud going back to pass and Ojabo on the bench watching. But here's the gamble that I'm talking about, the chess match. I'm sure when 55 is on the field, they're going to audible to a run play to him. He's going to have to step up and play the run, which is why he don't play the run. He's not on running downs right now.
Here's an interesting thing, and I sat back and I did some notes. I did some research. Maz, you know me, I'm dialed in. I'm on my laptop.
Got
I'm
those
writing
notes. I already seen
between
your notes.
mental and also looking at it.
Matt steals them all. Trust me, he gets a peek of those notes
He
before
does.
we go on the
He
air.
does. He steals a lot of my takes. No, I'm joking. If you look at these teams, okay, and if you look at these teams and you compare them head to head, okay, this is going to be an interesting take. You can take it how you want to. If you look at them head to head, Michigan's the better overall team because they're better in all three phases. Special teams, they got 3 kick returns for touchdowns this year. They almost had a punt return for touchdown. They got 2 block kicks this year. And then they got one of the best kickers in the country. He's only missed 2 kicks. Jake Moody. So
Unsung hero is Jake Moody.
100% because he won us that Nebraska game. So legitimately, kind of like Adam Finley did us almost with Ohio State in 2002. But special teams, we take that. Defense, it's not even close. Mm-hmm. Defense is not even close. We have the better defense. Now offense, they win. It's not even close on that. They win, but it's closer than you think. If you add that up, we win defense, we win special teams, and they have us on offense. We're the better overall team, just like we were in the Michigan State game, but we match up better against Ohio State. We're the better overall team.
What's happened over the years when both teams have been good? The game has been played where?
The person with the lower ranking always wins. So like
it's been played in Columbus.
Yeah.
This time
Right.
they're both
No, you're
good,
right.
and you're playing
so
at
right.
home.
You're so right. And here's what's interesting about that too
Great
is I think Michigan is going to have to take shots. You want to shorten the game, you want to control the clock, but you're going to have to take some shots over the top.
I asked Braylon this yesterday, and I'll ask you the same question today. How many points did they have to score to win this football game? I want your answer for it next. This is Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.